this quick and simple. But man, my videos, today's not my day. I should just have stopped and called her quits, right? If you're here to watch this, hang on, we're gonna get to it. If you follow the channel and you just watch the unboxing, I did fix. I could not. My OCDs wouldn't let me just set these to the side. So during the unboxing, these were on the wrong ones. These two are like cut a little thinner and matched up better, and that one was ready to fall off. So I did fix them. We got this thinner one working. We got the other one. I switched the handles around. I actually had to leave off, and I was going to show you guys. These little four, they had, some of them were spaced too much, and others were just like loose. The screws were loose. And they were mismatched for how they were cut. So we got it fixed. The only downside to this is these are, in my opinion, a cheaper version of the other ones I was getting. So just these screwing in could kind of be an issue. So just be careful. If you're getting these for 10 bucks, you're not going to get the quality if you order just the single, which also come a pair for like 10 bucks. So I don't know if the camo gray ones ever come in, I'll get them whichever way I can. But I don't know. I guess I'll probably still buy them this way if that's the color I want, because you get a free handle. I think it's 90. Is it 85 or 90? Let's double check that. It's 95. I think that's a 95 millimeter, because this is 90 on the. So I think it's a 95 millimeter carbon fiber handle, which I don't want. If anybody wants to buy some, I got some. I'll take 10 bucks. Minus the knobs. No, but anyway, okay, so that's fixed. No big deal, right? Awesome. Your day's going to be good from here on out, right? The night, even without Fireball, is going to be a good night for Charlie, right? Nope. Here's what I did. I took apart this reel, and if you decide to take apart a Daiwa reel, newer style that has a straight, you either need to buy that, they make a screwdriver for that, or you need to do kind of what I've done. I've cut down this, which started out as just a small Craftsman, or find one that's already that skinny, but stout. Because if you go messing around with just a stock, say one of these, see the difference? If you go messing around with a stock screwdriver like this, you're going to scratch up all these little holes anywhere where you need to get in to get the screw out over here along this side. You do not want to mess with that, especially on an expensive like a STEEZ, but any Daiwa in general. So, I don't know, however many years ago, I took one of these and kind of just used my Dremel, and I reshaped it to where it works for me and messing with these. I probably need to just break down by the tool. But anyway, there's only 3 screws holding the side plate on. So we took off the handle assembly. It's here. In my opinion, too much grease, but they greased it, you know, from the factory. So I'm going to probably not wipe off much of that. Probably leave most of that grease on there. It doesn't really hurt anything, but I think it's overkill. You don't need all that grease on that. Maybe if you're messing with saltwater kind of thing, application, I don't know. I never put that much back on mine when I go to service any of my stuff. Here's the problem. Here's the problem. Not in this clicker assembly I bought. It looks like I think it's going to go right in. I kind of just grabbed this and set it up there. But here's the problem. You guys see something missing? When I first took this thing off, and I wish I would have done the whole thing, you guys could have witnessed me about lose my mind. I know, some of you guys like to watch that. I think Brew Tank does for sure. The Constant Pheasant. I don't think Jay and them do. They get it. They get it how us old guys are, right? We got a high tolerance for stuff. But I wanted to show you something. And as I just now spoke, I found it. But I've been using this reel, okay? You guys have seen me. I've been using this. I have not torn it apart until today. And I took this thing apart, and I'm going to show you, and I have proof, even though I didn't record it. You see those 2 springs? Exactly. You only see 1 spring. It only had 1 spring when I took it apart, and I'm like, what the hell is going on? That is a $550 reel, cheap to me. I got like a deal, I consider. That's an expensive STEEZ limited shallow spool. Well, in the meantime, I've tracked down, I got a spring. It's bigger around. I already looked. It will work, and it won't. The only issue I may have had, because it's a little bit bigger around the inner diameter. And so I checked it, I stuck it on, I made sure there's no way it can't hit the gear, right? So I already had like, well, I can fix it. But who in the world, like, just like I talked about quality control coming from China out of whatever, this reel's made in Japan, assembled in Japan, their highest end flagship limited, and the spring was left out. But I just spotted this as I was talking to you guys. It wasn't left out. I see it. It's right down there. So let me find something to pick it out with. And it is mangled looking, I think. So I don't know. This thing's smooth. Yeah, there it is right there. Look at that. Dude. Did it have to bounce off? It was in there loose. I mean, any time it could have hit the gear. I don't ever remember anything doing anything, and this thing's still smooth. The most expensive reel I've ever bought, because this one was more money. I paid $500 for the MG Extreme 2. Most expensive reel I bought comes like that. Dude, that is very, I guess, disheartening. Now, I think I think it'll be fine. I think it actually works with just the one, because it was working. I didn't notice anything was wrong. But that is, man, that's screwed up. And you guys know I'm not jacking around, because if you follow the channel, if it was a Shimano, I know some of you guys would be like calling BS on me. You're like, dude, you rigged it, or otherwise you would have showed it, you'd had it all recorded. I was just like, I'm gonna do this quick, and I wish I would have taken it off, but I do have proof, because I'm gonna show you something. And I don't know why this piece is on here either, but they've got just like a piece of paper. I don't even know what you call that. That I guess when the springs go down and it touches, maybe it's helped to prevent the coating to wear off or something. And I don't know if I can get it to show up on camera or not. I can't see it through the viewfinder. Let me try to get it turned. But if you look, you can see and it may be coming through and I just can't see it the way I'm looking. Yeah, see that? Okay, so there is where the spring was riding and rubbing, and then over here is just a more circular to where just the pin. So when you put it in, it it mushes the springs down to where they're kind of flush with the pin. So it's basically proof for you guys. I already know, because I was looking around like, where in the hell did that spring go? Because if it would have fallen out when I first took it apart, it wouldn't look like that. It wouldn't be deformed. It would just have fallen off when I pulled this out and stuck. But I knew as I was taking it apart, I'm like, what? I instantly noticed it, and I'm looking like, what? And for a split second, I'm looking around like, did that thing just fly out? Like I missed it? How did I miss that? And I'm looking all over for it. And then the next thing popped in my head, like, oh, maybe I've got one, and that's the closest I could find. So a little bigger round. I think it'll work. I think I'll go ahead and I think I'm better off to put it back together with that on than to just leave it like that. I think it'll help the clutch. And I think it's about the same tension. I don't think it'll be any issue once I put it back together. So anyway, yeah, I know. It's like a nightmare. But who do you contact to get a spring and all the hassle? I think it'll be fine. So I'm going to put it back together with that in there, and everything should be fine. But first off, we've got to get this drag clicker installed. So that's the main part I wanted to show you guys. And this thing has a ton of grease out on this, but actually the gears themselves, I don't know if you guys can see. Let me move this spring. It's the last good one I got. Let me take it off before I lose it. So it's going there. The gear itself does not look greased much at all. You don't want to turn that much when they're like that. But it does not look like there's much grease on the gear itself. I don't know. I ain't gonna lie. I don't know if I've ever taken a reel apart. When I do take a new one apart, that I'm wondering in my head, like, what were they thinking? Who do they have assembling these reels, right? So let's take this stuff off. Like, this thing is crazy coated with something. It almost looks like water, not grease. It's never been, or no, that's oil. It's not grease. It's like an oil they put on it, I think. Let me just take this whole thing off real quick. I was going to show you guys. I know my videos are, and I'm in a hurry too. Believe it or not, this is me in a hurry. Just so you guys know, I'm actually hurrying because I need to get this done. I need to do that one, and then I'm ready. Then I've got stuff going on tonight. So this is me hurrying, just so you know. But we got to teach. It's a teaching channel, right? Even though it shouldn't be. I'm not a teacher, but if you guys remember me talking about the reason this follows on the TD Ito is because on this one it's direct. On the Ito, it's basically got something like that in between it, keeping it from that lets this gear slip with. It's basically this gear is hooked to the main gear, and that's why you're allowed the level wind will work with and follow in line with the line as you're pulling it out, which in my mind is a better idea and a better design than this newer stuff they got. But yeah, here's the noise. Remember I said this thing had like it is right in, and that's what I thought it was. It's something to do with the T-wing. And you know what I bet it is? Man, that sucks. Hang on. I'd almost swear I feel a catch right there. You know what I think happened? I think that little dude right there got in here and got caught in those plastic gears is how it's jacked up. I don't think it was in the metal, because the metal main gears, which are more expensive anyway, it's something that Daiwa should cover for me, in the fact, regardless that it was already their problem. But I almost swear that I'm feeling something that's probably what happened. That spring it probably didn't really, I mean, I imagine it'll be fine, because the tolerances on these do not have to be that great. There's no real pressure. There's no real big deal. But I'd almost swear right there, I feel it. Whether I push tight or away, I almost feel like I feel something there that's not in the rest of it as I'm spinning it. All right, just a little twinge of something is different. Oh well, I'm not gonna worry about that. Okay, let's put this back together. So if you remember right, this goes just like that, and they've got, well yeah, look, I guess that had been rubbing on the, oh my god, here, hang on, I can't even, let me wipe this off. I would guess that's where the spring was underneath there, just kind of riding on there, and I mean it was greased up, no pressures, probably just, that part was fine, but whatever tweaked it was probably these plastic gears underneath. So that goes on like that. That I'm just going to leave with however much gunk it's already got on it. I'm going to leave it alone. Now I'll either apply grease or not, depending on whatever these are underneath, which I haven't checked out yet. So we'll set that a little to the side. I'm going to flip this upside down basically. And I'm going to apply more grease to the gear, our Daiwa grease that I ordered. So I'm going to pop these out. And I'd suggest you guys kind of do it this way. So that is everything that was in there. So I'm going to put it back on gingerly, gently. And so I won't take it back off again. I'll just put the stack back on. So then basically turn your stack back over, and you're going to line it up and make sure everything lines up with what you already have over here. So, and a lot of times you can use the stock pieces if you choose, if they're lighter or heavier, if they're not, or seem stouter. Like, see that, how it's cut different? So you should be able to just lay this out like I have these laid out, and that's what they'll replace. And there's a light coating of grease on them, so I will go ahead and grease these guys. I probably won't put any on the metal parts, but I'll put a thin coat on each side of these and then put it back together. This looks to be, and this is where if you get real geeky, you can actually pull out your scale and weigh individual pieces and see if you're adding or taking away or whatever weight if you wanted to. In theory, we should be taking out weight because this piece is a little smaller than the stock piece. These have a little more cutout than the stock ones. This piece, of course, has a little more cutout than the stock one just because of the fact they made the clicky thing. And we do have a spare one sitting there. I wish it had the double one, but oh well, it'll probably be good enough. And then, you know, so on and so forth. These are all cut out, and then this has teeth cut out in it, and this is solid. So therefore, we should have shaved just a touch of weight off. I don't really want to take time to sit and wait. I'm in a hurry. I don't really want to like see if we saved a gram. It doesn't really matter because we're putting it in for the clicker sound. So let's just get our grease. Let me get this done real quick. I mean, this is simple. You almost don't even need that. You just need to get some on your hands like that. And I know there's probably a better grease, but just for to me to get the clicker thing back on, I'm just basically getting them wet. Now they recommend cow's grease or whatever. I'm just getting these where there's something on them. And I'm actually going to do this in a hurry. I would take more time, and I would actually probably should have put my cheap grease that I have laying around. I'm putting it on all of them, then I'll double check and see if I need to go back and put more. And I didn't really want to get my hands all nasty. So let me check. That's probably good. So I'm going to check. Yeah, they didn't have much on. So yeah, I think we're good. Just a thin coating. Nothing too much. So then I'm just going to take all my stock stuff. I will put back in the deal to where I could always put it back. Like say if I wanted to sell the reel and I don't want to put the clicker in, you know, or whatever, I could always just swap all these parts right back, and I'll probably go ahead and put the spare clicker and we'll put it back in wherever it is, this thing, for future keeping, right? And we're going to apply grease. I think I'm just going to do that now. Hang on, let me wipe my hands off better. I'm going to have grease all over everything, which I will anyway, but let me take a little time. Let me try hurry and get this video wrapped up. I'm just going to show you stacking it back together, probably put the deal on, and then we're going to get out of here. So first things, we'll put one of these. I still haven't figured out why they cut these out. So that part is almost like, why don't I just leave the stock one on? I still ain't figured that out. That almost doesn't seem right to me. Hang on a second. Okay, they're a little bit smaller around too. Well, I'm going to go with what they sent me. One of those. This thing looks to be the same. I don't really see a top or a bottom. I think it's the exact same. So that should just go there. Put another one on. Yeah, see, I don't like that. That doesn't seem right. I think they're the wrong things. I don't know. This should line up. This should go. You should have to make sure it's in like the two deals. Then the other one, which all of those, I don't know why I needed those. If anything, I needed the stock ones just maybe a little bit thinner around the edges. I think that is not a real good thing on their part. So anyway, let's just get it all put back. That is almost on the tight side. All right, so before I do any clicking thing, I'm going to go ahead and stick it back together. So let me grease it real quick. Just, I don't even know how much. It definitely does not have enough. So I'm just going to, what I usually do is just, when it's a new one that is greased but not enough, I kind of just make sure I'm kind of recoating basically just getting a touch of grease in all of the little, that's probably too much already. And then I'm going to stop touching it with my hands. So yeah, just another thin coat, and I could always, if I have to, take it right back apart. So we got that. We got the grease. Let me wipe my hands off again. All right, we got that on. Now I need to put this back on, but first, let's try not to do this again. So let's go with, and you know what? For whatever reason, it looks like it gives me a little more room on that side than this side. So I'm going to put the right spring is a skinny spring. Oh boy, the wrong spring is the one that's a little big around. And how I did that was I pushed it like this, and then I pushed it pressed, and it won't touch. It may, move around a little bit, but it won't touch. The trick is just putting it back on. Evidently they didn't get it back on without letting that piece flop off. And this reel does not need any, make sure it doesn't have any grease in there. Sometimes if you put in here and there is like too much grease, it'll actually make a reel feel bound up. So anyway, do not move this any far above that. And the trick is just to put top on, started, line up your little, and you could take that out, but we have not, I still have yet to move that zero adjuster. So get that going on like that. Gingerly push it, make sure it stays, and then you want to hold it. And then so we're going to start with, oh boy, which one was where? I think the big one was up front. So we got a little screw, goes right there. So I'm going to start and get one screw back in this thing. Give me a minute here. And why they went from Phillips. They should just go with Torx. Or with what you call it. Right? Alright, so I got one in there just to make sure it holds it on. And I'm going to go ahead and stick this back on. Maybe. Maybe I'm going to, maybe I'm not. Alright. So we have some form of clicker. So, let me just put it back together. Jesus. I know. I'm trying to hurry up. I guess I'll try to keep it to a 30-minute video. Hang on, let me get, oh boy, where did that hair come from? This thing back together. this was a cheaper reel and Phillips screws, I would have already had the whole thing complete. Now, I don't go tight, you know. I kind of snug them. I guess I should double check this one. And then I may go back and double check them. You know, almost like you would torque something down, but just double check. You don't have to go crazy. I'm pretty sure this one was up here. Crazy long one. And a lot of times on some of these you can hold your fingers kind of as like a guide to keep it straight. These straight screws just suck because that little section that's made for the wrench, it's like they intentionally do that to make you spend money to buy their little deal. It's ridiculous. So now, the little bitty thing to keep the internal race is the only thing that's going to be touching when we put this piece in. I didn't mess with none of that. It is crazy greased. It is never going to wear out. Ever. Alright, that part is never going to wear out. This part is never going to wear out. And the only thing I think needs a touch could be maybe this to that where you're screwing it. It's just a touch of grease probably. I don't know, I'm just leaving. I'm getting this baby back together. We're going to check our drag clicker. Oh yeah, I did use our little wrench and it seemed to work fine to take the nut off. Okay, wipe my hands off again. Oh, that is just way too much. That whole thing does not need that much grease, but if you insist, let's look at that. It is totally full of grease too. I'm just leaving it for now. Leaving it for now. Let's get that on. A little bitty keeper here. Put that on. Handle. Oh boy, I got my fingers in the wrong spots. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I'm actually not a fan of this. I think this is stupid. I wish they'd go back to the... Evidently this is supposed to be... Some people think it looks cleaner, but it's supposed to be a lighter way. They drill the hole right, and then you run this. It's you don't have as much shaft sticking out. So, okay, I guess I get it. I guess I get it, but not really. So this, it's a little wobbly, but I guess it works, and it's not supposed to be as scuff happy. Well, that's all we need for now. What do you guys think? You guys know I'm going to make a short on that at some point. Let's try it when we pull the line out. And I'm getting ready to put this baby right back in service. We're going to put it on 7-foot medium moderate carbon light 2.0 and we're going to go to town. So as you can see, the clutch, which it worked fine with just the one, but now we do have two on. That one's a little wobbly, but it should be fine. Let's check our, so we get a fish. I don't think, I mean, that's going to work, but I don't think I like it as well as the stock like the Zillion has. It's going to be alright. It's a drag clicker. But I may try to track down, see how much. It's just, do I want to spend more money on this reel? I think I might start buying STEEZ A's. If I get any more STEEZ reels. Excuse me, because they come with an awesome clicker and I don't have to go through the hassle and it's going to sound like what the Zillion does. I know somebody's going, just stick with your Zillions. I know, I get it. But anyway, guys, hopefully you like the video. Half hour of chaos, right? But we've got our new STEEZ Limited shallow spool. We got the shallow spool in. Got the drag clicker from AliExpress. Was probably the best part of the whole deal. Now, what I could have done, and I still could, I could go in there, take that one, or I could, take the spare piece one that we got, and I could cut another clicker on that side, right? Another arm, and bit it down, see if that makes it loud or not. But it just, and this sounds good. But that's just what that style takes. The style with the little pin that runs around. I like that better. So, but anyway, stay tuned. Now it's going to be this dude. I'm breaking him out. I'm putting all these parts up. I don't want to see another Daiwa as long as I live. The internal parts of it, right? No, until next week. But here, let me stick these in my toilet paper just to hide them so nobody will see what they are. So we've got our parts. I still got to put the handle on the STEEZ, and I'm going to come back and we're going to slap this guy together. And hopefully everything is... I've already had this one apart once, right? Yeah, I think I did. I greased it or something. So stay tuned, guys. Thanks for watching. That one has way more pieces than the one you got. Yeah. Dinner and a movie. Olivia. Yeah. Gus says hello, everybody. What time is it? I don't even know what time it is. Does anybody know? Let me look on my computer. Oh boy. Yeah, I got one more to do here, and then we're going to see Magic Mike, right? I know. Me and Olivia are going, there's one thing she likes about as much as Magic Charlie, and that's Magic Mike. But anyway, gotta go, guys. Stay tuned. One more video, and then I'm out of here. Oh, by the way, other than I gotta rewash my hands, I'm already cleaned up, and I smell good. But other than that, I'm ready to go. I just got to get this one more deal knocked out, and I'll be done. Thanks for watching, guys.